We are back, America. You asked for more of us. Live TV, folks. Anything can happen. You wanted more Mizzle and Dub Show? Well, damn it. You're getting more Mizzle and Dub Show. Welcome to another edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show on this Friday, November the 19th. First
Birthday,
off,
Mom.
we want to say, yes, Mom, happy birthday.
Yes.
Last chapter of the 50s. As you get to the golden birthday next year,
Don't even look
enjoy
at
yourself
it
in
at all.
Mississippi. Not at all. Enjoy Mississippi. We love you. We miss you. But
Yes.
by all means, have fun.
Go ahead.
Well, a few things we're going to cover today on the Mizzle Dub Show. We had tried to give you a pro game show on Monday night. Forgive us. We were talking with family, and you know how that goes. It gets turned into one big laugh fest. We apologize, but we will briefly cover. My football team decided to show up and play a game on Monday night and actually got the win. We'll talk about the surging Golden State Warriors, and right behind them is the red hot surging Phoenix Suns. Talk about last night's performance, and of course, we will save the capper for the end of the show. It is fight weekend here in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. We will also touch on Porter and Bud as
Well, before we begin and get into it, can we give a shout out to the skipper, Mr. Kapler, for winning the Manager of the Year?
You know, the ironic thing about that is that's only the second Giants manager ever to win it. I mean, I know Dusty had won it twice,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm thinking, really? Of all the
Bochy didn't get one?
3 times in the World Series, Bochy couldn't get not one doggone vote, not one.
Mm-hmm.
Not one, but I mean, if and no disrespect to the other managers, they were well earning and well deserving of being categorized. But I'm sorry, not to sound Homer-ish, but I'm going to sound Homer-ish. But if a team that was projected to win 73 in between 73 and 75 games, you win 107 does not get manager of the year, something is really, really wrong.
Yeah.
In addition to that, congratulations to Shohei Ohtani, unanimous
Yes.
American League level player. He did not deserve it. So, I mean, it was hard. It was going to be hard to pry it away from it. And like I said, Vlad Jr. had a fantastic, tremendous season. But, I mean, Ohtani was out of this world.
Yeah.
I would have been okay with either or, but I definitely think Ohtani definitely deserved it. I was actually quite shocked they gave it to Bryce Harper. But Bryce Harper gets
I was too. Yeah, same here.
But Bryce Harper gets his second career MVP award, and now he joins Barry Lamar Bonds, the late great Frank Robinson,
Well,
Jimmy Double X Fox, and Alex Rodriguez as the only men in the long history of MLB to win the MVP with 2 different teams.
well,
So that is very distinguished company that Bryce Harper has aligned himself with. But first off, my good brother, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
No, good to be above ground and breathing.
Well, as you would say, Pops always say, black and breathing.
Black and breathing, indeed. So just to briefly touch about what I saw Monday night was perhaps the best, well-prepared game plan, definitely in 2 years, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, again, was I expecting us to beat the Rams? Not necessarily. Was I hoping they would be competitive? Yes.
So we actually
I was not expecting them to beat them by 21 points. And I mean, they just really made the Rams just look lethargic. And for whatever reason, I don't know why that is, but for some strange reason, and I know because they're good, close friends, and I know they're very competitive, but for some reason, Kyle Shanahan seems to get up for Sean McVay. Why that is, I don't know. That's 5 straight times the Niners have beaten the Rams. For whatever reason, just in relates to division games in the NFC West, for some reason, the Niners appear to be the Rams' kryptonite because they're the only team that they have a losing record against. I'm okay with Garoppolo throwing the ball 19 times, which those 19 times he wasn't in duress. He wasn't under pressure. But again, establishing the run with Mitchell and the returning Jeff Wilson Jr. certainly helped his cause. But also, that man named Deebo Samuel just continues to just ball out of control this year.
he catches the ball, yes.
certainly deserving of a Pro Bowl berth, and it was nice to see George Kittle find the end zone. The Rams are 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to say that the sky is falling. They have 2 bad games, but I expect them to get right.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to my beloved Niners, it's okay. What can you do with this momentum that you built against the Rams?
Right.
I thought it would carry over when they did against the Bears, against the Cardinals, and the B squad. Didn't happen. Now you have to go to Florida, Eastern time zone,
Yes.
early game, and you have to play the Jaguars. Granted, the Jaguars' record is not good, but a lot of their losses have been competitive close losses. They just lost by 6 to the Colts.
And that was a competitive game.
So I'm hoping that my team builds on this momentum, because if they just happen to win, they're back at 500 and actually have a chance, because
now
the next 3 games right now for the Niners are very winnable. It's at Jacksonville, you come back home against the Vikings, and then you play the Bengals.
Whoa.
So there's a chance you could be at 500.
Yeah.
If you take care of business. But good one for them. It was good to be an Niner fan that day.
Yeah.
Good. But enough of that. Well, last night, if you watched the game, I'm sorry. It was not much to watch. As the Patriots took care of business.
Only one team showed up to play a game of football.
One team showed up, and Matt Ryan needed some help. And the Patriots are undefeated on the road this season. Very, very impressive.
Go figure.
Right? Go figure. But as you and I have both said, as long as the hoodie is there, they're not going to be down. And it is appearing that way. And don't look now, but the Bills, you're in a race for the AFC East.
Yes.
So don't breathe just yet. But Patriots were outstanding. The Falcons put in 3 different quarterbacks, and they all got picked off. It was just tremendous.
First in history of the NFL ever happened?
I believe so, yes. But the Patriots did what they were supposed to do, and took care of business.
Yeah.
Some news earlier this morning, as we were in our production discussion, Dallas Goedert a well-deserved extension to stay in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He gets a 4-year extension worth $57 million, which $35 million of that is guaranteed. So good for him. And unfortunately for the Chicago Bears, their all-pro sack machine, Khalil Mack, will be undergoing foot surgery for the season.
For the year.
When it starts to involve defensive people and their feet, this could be a real tricky thing, because unfortunately,
Patrick Willis.
It was the feet that caused Patrick Willis to retire.
Man.
The turf toe caused Deion Sanders to retire, and for those that know Deion, that the toe is the reason why he couldn't play. Because I've never experienced turf toe, but I've heard that turf toe is a severe pain that you don't want.
Yeah, and it doesn't go away.
And I don't know if it's necessarily turf toe for Khalil Mack, but anything that involves your feet, you really got to pay careful attention to those.
Yeah.
And as expected, Cam Newton will be starting against his former head coach, Riverboat Ron, this upcoming Sunday. We thought that would happen. Good news for the Browns. Nick Chubb is active. He'll be playing against the Lions this Sunday.
That's good to see.
At the moment, according to Coach Mike Tomlin, Mason Rudolph may be starting for the Steelers, as there's still no word yet on Big Ben's COVID-19 status. And to go along to preview the rest of the NFL, we already said the Niners are in Jacksonville playing the Jaguars. The Vikings and the Packers. This could be a trap game for Green Bay. This very well could be.
Yeah.
Honestly, because last season the Vikings went up to Lambeau and upset the Packers.
Yes, they did.
So division games are always tricky.
Yes.
The Vikings are at home. The Packers are 8-2 and currently the 1 seed in the NFC, but it depends on which Kirk Cousins you get, as it always is. But this possibly could be a trap game for Green Bay.
And it also goes as far as Dalvin Cook.
That's true too.
Dalvin Cook could open it up for Thielen and everybody else, and that'll make it a lot easier for Cousins to do his thing. So
yes.
that's going to be huge.
Yeah. Eagles coming off a huge win at altitude a mile high. They're back at home to host the Saints. Saints coming off a loss to the Titans by 2.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if the Trevor Siemian experience can continue, or will Taysom Hill get some more time behind center with the Saints offense. I'm expecting Kamara to play. He did not play against the Titans last week. I'm expecting him to be back. Can the Eagles maintain that momentum, because they're still on the hunt even at 4-6?
Yeah.
And a game that always seems to bring out the best out of both of them. Doesn't matter where the records are, but for whatever reason, the Dolphins and Jets always seem to give us entertaining games. Why that is, I don't know.
Throw out the books and everything.
Yeah. It's normally a high entertaining, sometimes high scoring, no defense shows up at all. But the Jets are at home. But the Dolphins have had ownage lately in this rivalry. The Dolphins have won 6 of the last 7 meetings against the Jets. Flacco gets the start as Mike White is still injured and Zach Wilson's not healthy yet, as the Dolphins will try to get their second straight win as the 3-7 Dolphins take on the 2-7 Jets. Cam back at home at Bank of America Stadium for the first time since he left.
Here we go.
And Riverboat Run makes his long-awaited return back to the Carolinas. The Panthers at home, hosting the team without a mascot. The football team, unfortunately, will have to get on without their outstanding defensive lineman, Chase Young, who's gone for the season with a torn ACL. That is very, very
I was going to try to come to Vegas and see a game, was just to see him.
Yeah. But the Panthers, coming off that huge win against the Cardinals in Arizona, they're 5-5 in the thick of things in the wild card round. Also have a chance at the division because the NFC South is still open. It's still there.
That's why this whole league is kind of still wide open.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good teams, but there's really not one team that really stands on and says, yeah, this team is definitely a legit threat to win it, because a lot of teams are a legit threat to win it.
Yeah.
This game is very intriguing. The Bills and the Colts from Orchard Park.
Ooh.
And this make it sound like snow weather, and if it is snow weather, this sounds like a Jonathan Taylor game written all over for the Colts. I mean, his run last week against the Jaguars, where he just said, "Get off me! I am not going down."
Yeah, tremendous.
Shades of Tyrone Wheatley in Arrowhead.
Oh yes.
And I still say that is Greg Papa's best call ever.
Yes.
Like if you never heard Greg Papa's call, the Tyrone Wheatley one, just go on YouTube and just watch it.
Yeah.
Bills 6-3, Colts 5-5. Frank Wright makes his return to Buffalo. Of course, he was Jim Kelly's backup for so many years.
Yes, indeed.
But of course, he was the guy that led the greatest comeback in NFL playoff history. In a sense, the game that literally killed the Houston Oilers as a franchise in the NFL.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But I won't be surprised if the Colts pull out the shocker, but it all depends on which Carson Wentz you're going to get, because sometimes you really don't know which Carson Wentz you're going to get. Are you going to get the good Carson Wentz?
Facts.
Or are you going to get the Scott Mitchell Award Carson Wentz that throws pick sixes with his left hand? You don't know. And then there's the hard-charging Lions, who came off of a tie. Some say should have possibly won the game. But here's a nugget.
Technically, they should have lost that game because the Steeler player just handed the tie to it. So, yeah.
but
they should have won it.
But here's the interesting nugget. They're playing the Browns in the Dog Pound. Obviously, this is the short week for the Lions, as they're coming right back to play the Bears on Thanksgiving morning. Yep. That's the first game of the day. And, of course, your Raiders in the middle of playing the Cowboys. It really will be a house divided, as my sis and my brother will be on opposite sides, stuffing turkey and be like, screw you, screw your team, now screw your team. We'll get to that later. But here's an interesting nugget. The Lions have won 4 straight against the Browns.
No kidding.
No kidding. Well, I mean, for a long time, they were rivals because they were a part of the original NFL before the Browns got switched to the AFC in the merger, this, that, and the other. Browns coming off a win. So they're back in the thick of things. I mean, again, it's the division is still there. Baltimore's only 6-3.
Yeah.
And you got the Steelers and the Browns right there. I mean, everybody in the AFC North is at 500 or better, so it's a very competitive division. I know Jarvis Landry has voiced his frustrations in not getting the ball, and Baker Mayfield has said that we're going to try to get him the ball. But one thing that will be helping the Browns, that Georgia Bulldog Nick Chubb is back for the Browns, which means you get that 1-2 combination of him and Hunt running the football. And if you want to add a third head, Mr. Johnson. So the Browns certainly would like to try to establish the run against the Lions on this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Texans on the road on the road going to Nashville to take on the Titans. Titans 8-2, best record in the AFC. They're the number 1 seed. There's really not much to say.
Yeah.
And then some old-fashioned blue-collar black and blue football. The Ravens head on to the Windy City to take on the Bears. Bears coming off the bye week. But I had said this the last couple of weeks. I think Justin Fields is starting to build some momentum because the last 2 games, he has looked very good and looked very sharp throwing the ball. And you've called for it, and you're not even a Bears fan, but I agree with you. Can you try to throw Allen Robinson the football? He is a talented receiver.
It's like his talent is going.
I'm just saying, and that's no disrespect to Mooney because Mooney's been a fine rookie this year.
Mm-hmm.
But Allen Robinson can go get the ball. Just try to establish him. Do some wide receiver screens, run some slants. But I mean, they always say, get the ball in your playmaker's hands, and Allen Robinson is one of the best playmakers in football. I'll tell you like this: I would take him on my team. I'm just saying.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, he's a free agent next year. I wouldn't mind if we're going to stick with Derek Carr, but I wouldn't mind Allen Robinson catching balls from DC. That would be just him, Waller, Renfro. You add that in there, Edwards. Hey, give me that.
Well, of course, you will be the biggest Cowboys fan on Sunday as the Cowboys go into Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Some Chiefs are back in first place by a half game in the AFC West. Some people say the Chiefs might be back. In the famous words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friends. Yes, they looked good against the Raiders. There's no pun intended about that. They did, but
came up and did what they came to do. They put the pants on and they came in there to Allegiant Stadium and.
But the question is, and here comes that C word, can they be consistent with it? Mm-hmm. That's been the thing with the Chiefs, and the Cowboys are coming in. They looked refocused as they gave the Dirty Birds a thrashing by 40 points last week. But another nugget: the Chiefs have won 10 straight against NFC teams, so the Chiefs have that going for them. But if a team can come in there and win an Arrowhead, the Cowboys certainly can do it.
I believe it.
So we shall see there. A very intriguing matchup in the NFC West. Going to Seattle is never easy, but the Cardinals are 8-2, and they are going into Seattle to play the Seahawks. Russ looked very lethargic and rusty, and it showed last week against the Packers in Green Bay. And the Cardinals are supposed to be getting their big boys back in Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. And that might spell disaster. But for whatever reason, the Cardinals just seemed like to be on the road because in their road games this year, they played 5 road games. In their road games, they have scored 30-plus points. So something about the road field the Cardinals like. And just in the case of the Seahawks, I mean, they're going to have to put it in the hands of Russ Norman for them just to be competitive and be the one because, Kyler Murray would love nothing more to get back on the winning track after watching the last 2 weeks, a win and a loss. We'll just go from there. And now, your beloved Raiders. At home, taking on the jungle that is the Cincinnati Bengals. And here is a very interesting nugget in this particular series between the Raiders and the Bengals. Since 1998, the home team in this matchup is 7-1. So if you're going up by the numbers, it bodes well for your team, being that they are the home team. But
still got to play the game.
As you sent me earlier in this week, you sent me a picture. I believe it was 2017, 2018. One of those years the Bengals came to Oakland and Derek Carr jumped into the end zone. You're like, this is the car I need on Sunday.
Yes. I need him moving his feet. Just they can't repeat the same story 3 years in a row, can they?
It would not benefit them to do so, no. I mean, can it happen? Yes. Would you like it to happen? No. As I keep telling you this, if they don't want to be having the same label as being the same old Raiders, they need to get out of this thing. I keep saying it's a mental thing, and I really think it is. Like I said, there's talent on the team.
Of course.
It's been shown. They didn't get off to a 3-0 start just by osmosis. They played well to get to that 3-0 start.
Yes.
I would say I would like to see them establish the run more, let JJ get his legs back. But I mean, put him in the right situation. I mean, do some outside run, not just have everything just inside. I mean, yes, he's a good inside runner, but he also has the speed to get outside. Do some sweeps, do some stretch plays, do some, some weak counters. I mean, pull the guards, let the guards go out there and maul somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't have cars slinging. I mean, establish the run. Car's a lot better when 28 is going well. And when 28 is going well, Carr can thread the needle. Or I'll say it like this. When the run game is going, just watch the film against the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and also your best target can't go 2 receptions for 10 yards. Waller cannot touch the ball 2 times and only get 10 yards out of it. I don't know it's the play calling or if the defense is. I know he's getting double teamed, almost triple teamed, but you got to design something a little bit better for him to get more touches. And they just can't come out flat. I don't know what's in them that they just have to pump themselves up to start playing football. Like they have to have be down a certain amount of points to start playing football. And that seems to be the moniker with both our teams. For whatever reason, they like to get off to slow starts. Why that is, you couldn't pay me enough to tell you. I can't tell you that. And stop going for the explosive hit and play coverage in certain times. That jump ball or that pass that Abram missed and stuff like that can't happen. That's 2 weeks in a row that he didn't been in a good position, but just can't come with the ball and catch the interception. Should have been twice. Patrick Mahomes should have been picked.
There were some turnovers that could have happened. That definitely could have swung the momentum against the Chiefs because, like I said, it turned into a blowout, but at one point it was 17-14 midway through the third quarter. And of course, you can't turn the ball over making ill-advised passes like that. But I mean, it's a must-win for both teams because the Bengals still got that itch of getting blasted by the Browns in their home.
Mm-hmm.
As the Browns went there and put a 40-burger up there.
Yes, they did.
So yeah, I mean, both teams are antsy.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see which team comes out aggressive first, but like I'm saying, you definitely want to keep your eyes on Jamar Chase because that young man has been balling all season long.
Only can catch, huh?
You definitely want to make sure that you keep your eyes on Joe Mixon. But like I said, if I'm the Raiders, establish Josh Jacobs early. And I mean, like I said, even if you have to do some tight end screens to get Waller involved, you got to get your all-world tight end involved because, like I'm saying, just him catching 2 balls, you're not going to win many games if your best player is only making 2 catches per game.
Yeah.
And now a very intriguing Sunday night game, which pits the Steelers taking on the Chargers.
Damn, so I'm also
The Steelers winning streak is actually still intact because technically they did not lose; they tied.
Yep. Facts.
Again, it's still determined to see if Ben Roethlisberger will play on Sunday. So Mason Rudolph is preparing like he's going to start, but Mike Tomlin said we're not going to count out Ben.
Okay.
As I've always said, as Ben goes, so do the Steelers. And the whole world get to see exactly the great talent that is Justin Herbert. If you haven't seen Justin Herbert play, the kid is a very, very talented quarterback from the University of Oregon. But it just seems like the Chargers are being the Chargers yet again.
Yeah, this is around the time that they start playing this type of football when they give you like ultimate flashes, like my Raiders. You're like, okay, this might be a good year for them, and just something I don't know. They go south.
Well, unfortunately, this is what cost Anthony Lynn his job, and that's why he's on the Lions coaching staff. Is as talented as the Chargers are, and they have tremendous talent on both sides of the ball.
Yes,
they'll get leads, they'll get double-digit leads, and they just cannot close them out. For example, they were up against the Vikings last week.
They were,
and Kirk Cousins of all people said, "Hold my beer." And you like that, and the Vikings rally to win over the Chargers last week in Inglewood.
Yeah.
And the Steeler fans, they travel. So there's going to be a whole bunch of terrible towels waving inside SoFi in Inglewood. And that's the unfortunate thing about being somebody else's tenant, because you don't get to establish your traditions and your own venues and stuff like that, which is why I really wish the Chargers did not leave San Diego.
Yeah.
I understand why. Dean Spanos felt like he had to get out because, again, you ask the state of California to build you a stadium, they're going to tell you no, because they just don't want their tax money going to a public stadium to where they have to come out of pocket for that. I get it. I understand it. But back to the game. It may come down to whoever has the ball last might win this game, because the Steelers know how to win close games. They play a lot of close games and always seem to figure out a way to win them.
Yeah.
It's in the Chargers case, can they close it? That has been their Achilles heel the last few seasons. Even when Phillip Rivers was still there, it's, can you close out games?
Yeah.
Do we really want to talk about the Monday night game? we're previewing all the games, but it's the Buccaneers, the Giants. The Buccaneers should win this game. Easy. Should. But the Giants, the last time they played on Monday night, were competitive. Yeah. Some even say should have beaten the Chiefs because they had many opportunities to beat Kansas City. Now, I'm not expecting the Giants to go to the big pirate ship and win it, but again, any given Sunday, any given Monday, maybe Eli on the Manning cast might give the Giants some motivation, because Eli seems to find a way to get the better of Brady. I'm hoping Saquon Barkley can play. You just want to see the kid go out there and play public, because the man is a tremendous
and can finish a game.
Finish the game, yes. That's the
play the game. I would like to see him start and finish, because the kid has an unbelievable talent.
Well, him and Sterling Shepard. I've liked Shepard since he was at Oklahoma, but the guy just can't stay on the field either and be healthy. But I do expect the Buccaneers to win. The Buccaneers are 4-0 at home at the big pirate ship this year. All of their losses have come on the road. But again, if Brady's in a giving mood, because sometimes Brady likes to be in a giving mood and throw interceptions.
It's almost close to that season.
Yeah, and the Giants defense, if they can get pressure with if they can get pressure with Ford, especially with Leonard Williams, you have a shot to win the game.
Could be a long day.
It could be a long day. Well, what more can we say about the Golden State Warriors as they just continue to just thrash and thrash and thrash opponents alone? They go into Cleveland last night and just handle business. Wardell had 40 of them buckets, along with 9 more threes, as they held the Cavaliers to just 8 points in the fourth quarter. Outscored them 36-8 in the fourth quarter. That's just insane. Insane. But
there's nothing else to be said.
They're 13-2.
Right.
Best record in the association.
Yep.
And Klay Thompson just got approved to start doing some 5-on-5 workout deals. So he may be back even before Christmas.
This is 2 weeks that he's been practicing on 5-on-5. So he should be, they're saying sometime by next week, he can possibly be on the bench, suited up. That's huge. I will give him 5 minutes just to run up and down the court, take a jump shot, defend, sit down.
As they would say, bubble wrap him right now.
Bubble wrap him and the babyface assassin. Yes, I am back to calling him that because he is shooting daggers this year. It's ridiculous what he's doing.
He is indeed looking like a babyface assassin. No kidding about that. So just to go around the recap of the association last night, of course, Warriors beat the Cavaliers 104-89. Heat beat the Wizards 112-97. A good Wizards team who has gone off to a very good start so far. Seems like Bam's words caught the attention of the Heat, and the Heat certainly responded last night.
Yeah.
Memphis beat the Clippers 120-108. Timberwolves beat the Spurs 115-90. Jazz at home feed off the Raptors 119-103. And your 76ers, Mr. Max, you have yourself a night in altitude with 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists as the 76ers handedly beat the Nuggets in Denver 103-89. I know you've been very high on Tyrese Maxey since draft night.
Yes.
And he certainly had himself a fantastic game last night.
I text you the moment that card came in. I was like, yes. Once that kid learns how to play in the NBA, he's going to be something special. And as he's doing it. And while we're on the Sixers real quick, I'm ready to take anything for Ben Simmons right now. Ship him out of here. Let's go. Let's if as long as they do it this year and not try to save it for Harden, because then it's like, it's taking shots away from Embiid, and no. So yeah, he can go.
Well, he definitely led the way as 5 Sixers were in double figures last night. He was the game highest scorer for Philadelphia. He had 22. Yeah. Harris had 17. Curry had 20. Yang had 11, and Milton had 12, and Bassey had 12, leading the way for Philly with Embiid not playing at all. So I mean, that's that. I mean, if you can, going into Denver is never an easy thing to do. Certainly, beating them at home is never easy. And then with your superstar big man not out there, and you go up and you put up 103, but more importantly, you hold them because we all know Denver can score with the best of them.
Oh yeah,
but you hold them to 89.
Yeah,
that's good
defense.
That's very good team defense.
Yeah.
Tonight in the association, the Warriors not having 4 of their people, including Curry, Iguodala, Draymond, and Otto Porter. Well, sucks for Draymond because Draymond loves coming back home to Michigan and showing out. So I'm pretty sure that's very disappointing for him.
He'll still be hurt though.
Yeah, definitely. Warriors at the Little Caesars, or I call it the Big Pizza Box, as they be playing at Little Caesars Arena against the Pistons. Pacers will head on to the Spectrum Center to play the Hornets. Always a good rivalry, even though both teams are not probably where they want to be, although the Celtics are probably in more better shape than the Lakers, even though the Lakers are the founding team. But Celtics and Lakers, whenever they get together, things can always happen when these two get together on the parquet floor inside the TD Garden in Boston. Brooklyn at home against the Magic, although KD will not play tonight with the shoulder injury. Clippers in New Orleans against the Pelicans. Thunder playing the Bucks. Bulls back at it in altitude, or Bulls back at it. They're in altitude. They will play the Nuggets.
Okay.
Kings at home hosting the Raptors. And just as hot as the Golden State Warriors, the Phoenix Suns will be looking for their 11th straight victory as they host the very talented Mavericks led by Luka Doncic. Speaking of the Suns, they're definitely showing that last year's trip to the final was no float, was no joke, was no fluke. But then again, you and I had both said them hiring Monty Williams was a tremendous hire. And even given the distraction that is the situation going on with their owner, Robert Sarver, which I know, again, I have friends that live in the Phoenix area, and they, like I said, even the year that I lived there and listening to sports talk radio on their outlets out there, it's a known fact that the Phoenix Suns fan base is not a big fan of Robert Sarver. And just the allegations and whatnot. Then given that Portland's GM all of a sudden just resigns, given what's going on there, this just seems to be just the common thing right now of just GMs and owners just, I guess, spewing with no filter, just saying whatever the heck they want to say, and seemingly they feel like they're invincible. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But that seemingly is the issue. But Chris Paul continues to play at a tremendous level. Devin Booker just continues to get better. I mean, heck, Frank Kaminsky had 41 points in the game. Hello.
But there's one spotlight that a lot of people, they tend not to bring up, but they bring it up every once in a while. Wherever Chris Paul goes, your winning percentage goes.
Yes, it does. It has been proven time and time again.
You can look, you can even Google that up. You can, and they will show you that they'll show you percentage of each team's winning percentage before Chris Paul got there, and when he gets there, and it dramatically goes high. So he just brings a winning mentality to an organization. It's just not the team. He brings a lot to an organization.
Well, he is a bulldog. There's no question about that. That's just what he does. He wins games. And it's like either hop on board, get with the ship, get with the program, or get the heck out, because that's just what they do.
Most respected man in the NBA, I know that for sure.
Well, that's why he is definitely running the players organization. That's for dang sure.
Yeah.
Now here's an interesting subject. I was talking to a person that is a fan of this particular fan base, and we kind of talked about it earlier. In revolving the Sacramento Kings, and I kept saying, is Luke Walton the problem? Because as you and I have both said, there is some talented individual on the Sacramento Kings club. They have some players. De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Davion Mitchell. So I love Rashawn Holmes' motor, as you know, and Harrison Barnes has been playing out of his mind lately. Yeah. Actually hitting open shots.
Yeah, that's the Harrison Barnes that I came out of North Carolina.
Yeah. But it's like they're underachieving with their 6-9 record. And there's been talk about that if they don't right the ship, that Luke Walton can lose his job. And I'm trying to understand and figure out where's the disconnect? Because the last couple of years, this year and last year, the Kings have put together some good drafts. They've got some good people in there. They have a good nucleus to build around, but yet it seems like they're underachieving. And the question is now, is the players, is the coach? We know they won't play Marvin Bagley, and Marvin Bagley's dad has been asking and saying, get my son out. I'm pretty sure they could use the talents of Marvin Bagley, because Marvin Bagley, when he's healthy, he is a talented individual, and that is not good for my 49ers. Breaking news. Elijah Mitchell is doubtful, unlikely to play Sunday against the Jaguars. So the finger, yes. So Jeff Wilson Jr., you're up. And perhaps maybe there might be a Trey Sermon sighting in Jacksonville.
Well, now. That would be nice.
Well, I mean, he's been wanting to play, and they've been asking why he hasn't gotten in. Well, Trey Sermon, make the most of it. You might get your chance on Sunday against the Jaguars.
Indeed.
And also, shout out to Fairfield High legend Quinton Ganther on the Jacksonville coaching staff. Good for him. As the Niners will visit Jacksonville on Sunday. But yeah, I, from what you've seen of the Kings, is it coaching? Is it the players? Is it the scheme? What is it?
I don't know. It's the Lakers fired Bill Walton, right?
Luke Walton, yes.
Luke Walton, yeah. So, and that was talent on that team too.
Yes.
So he brings the same thing to Sacramento. It's like we just said, there's talent on that team too. And they're playing just like he played when he had the Lakers. I don't know. I think the marriage should be over and they should start fresh, but I think they might hold on to him to the end of the year and probably start off after that. I'll take Marvin Bagley, trade him on the Philly, and they can have Ben.
You just want anybody to get rid of Ben Simmons.
Well, I would rather
that is your heart. That is your heart's desire, because I understand I would be over it. It's just okay. And this is not to say that mental health is not real, because it is.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
But at the same time, you're just there, so you don't have to get fined. And I'm just at the point to where I'm just like, okay, do you want to play basketball? If you don't, then stop the whole season. It's like the whole Kyrie thing. I understand Kyrie doesn't want to get vaccinated, but don't be a distraction to the team, or don't have this issue lingering over your team, because it's like, okay, well, there's this situation, but we don't want to keep talking about it. We want the focus to be on the team. It's becoming a distraction. It's starting to get in some players' heads to where some players can't function because the media keeps asking the same old question, with the whole elephant being in the room. Just earlier today, we talked about perhaps Grant and Olenek from the Pistons to Philly for.
I'll take them.
Ben Simmons. I know you would, because I know it's exhausting for you being a Sixers fan, having to hear about this every single time. And I'm pretty sure the players are tired of being asked of it every single time. It's like, what about Ben? And sometimes you just want to say, screw Ben. He's not here. Let's talk about the rest of the players that are suiting up, putting the time into practice and trying to help a team win a game.
Let's talk about Maxey, who's been excelling each year he's been in the system. So, yeah. Whatever.
As you can see, folks, he is over the whole Ben Simmons situation, has been since the end of the season, where he finally was like, you know what? Trade him. I'm done. He said this during the playoff run of the Sixers. He's like, you know what? I'm done. Let him go. Leave now. Or as Mike Wilbon would say, get out. Now for the coup de grace. Of course, it was already mentioned in the plug, because at the arena that he drinks his beer, which is sponsored by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, inside the Michelob Ultra Arena on this upcoming Saturday, it is fight weekend once again in the entertainment capital of the world in Las Vegas, Nevada. As they always say, styles make fights.
Yes. And
this definitely will be a contrast in style and fights. I was hoping to be in attendance for this fight, but of course, work schedules change. But I really was. At the time that I was looking at tickets, it was like, to get in there was like $104. I would have paid that just to be inside there, because there really is no bad seat inside the Mandalay Bay, aka Michelob Ultra Event Center Arena. I definitely would love to be in attendance for that, but alas, I'm not. But nonetheless, it will be Showtime Shawn Porter taking on Bud Crawford for Bud's WBO welterweight title. Bud literally had to beg to get somebody to fight him.
Yes.
And Showtime Shawn Porter, God bless him, like, you know what?
Why not?
I'll take it. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, since the man want to fight, I'll fight him. He ain't got a bag. So we were hoping to have our 2 boxing correspondents, but of course duties get in the way, and we do understand. But we are still reaching for that goal to have a show just dedicated to nothing but the sweet science. How do you see this fight, my good sir? Because again, it is 2 different styles. Bud's one of the best pound for pound fighters in the game.
Yeah.
You know, Shawn Porter brings everything and makes you earn every point that you get whenever he fights. It is never an easy fight when fighting Shawn Porter, because he does make you work. So how do you see the strategy, the contrasting styles? How would you strategize this fight between 2 very good talented fighters that obviously fight with a very different array of styles?
Well, first off, it's going to be a lot of body punches.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of body work. And that's what's going to make it difficult, because Porter likes to get inside. Well, he does work right here. Bud moves, but also Bud likes to use the body too. So it's also going to see can Crawford's jab keeps Porter at bay, because you know Porter's going to come. He's like we said, he's a dog. He's going to get knocked down but get up, and he's still going to have that same aggression that he had before you knocked him down. So if Bud established the jab, I can see him kind of winning there and using headshots to kind of win this fight, because the body is going to be kind of hard, because Crawford's going to be, like I said, Porter, is going to be coming in. But now if Porter can get inside around that, if Bud doesn't establish that jab and Porter gets inside, it could be something, because then that's going to stop Bud from throwing that jab. So I still see Bud winning this fight, but Porter is literally going to make him earn every bit of whatever round he wins in this fight. But there's still a puncher's chance. I'm just going to watch this fight as actually a fan, even though I do like Bud Crawford, but I also do like Porter. So I'm going to sit here and hope maybe the distance. I really don't want it to be in the judges' hands, because they can really ruin a good fight.
Yes. That's always the big, don't leave it in the judges' hands. Don't do it. No. But I do agree, because normally if you watch Bud fight, normally by round 4, he has you figured out, and that's when he goes to work, and that's normally when he ends you. But again, with Shawn Porter, he's hard to stop. Porter doesn't stop. He goes all 12 rounds and gives you everything that he has. And again, he lives on going inside and going to the body. That's where his strength is. But also, if Bud catches him, because we all know Shawn Porter has a tremendous chin.
Yes, he does.
Because, I keep going back to the fight against Keith Thurman.
Oh, yeah.
Thurman, to quote Duke in Rocky 2, I seen you beat that man like no man has gotten beat before. The man kept coming after you.
Yes.
And that's Shawn Porter to a T. Like, he will take the shot, but dadgummit, unless you got George Foreman, Mike Tyson punching power, the man is going to come back and go until the final bell.
He will eat a punch to deliver a blow. That's sure what he will do. But that, I'll just say, if he can withstand Bud Crawford's strength. And I think he kind of, man, I just want a good ass fight. And I think they're going to deliver. I think we're going to get, this is going to be good for boxing. And I hope after this fight, wherever it goes, I hope they start respecting Bud a little bit more, because the man should have had a pay-per-view fight a long time ago. He should have been main eventing a big arena in pay-per-view a long time ago. I mean, I'm as a boxing fan, I'm happy ESPN shows his fights, but he should have had a night like tomorrow night a long time ago.
Well, in a sense, it is Top Rank versus PBC. It's Bob Arum versus Al Heyman.
Yeah.
A joint collaboration, and God bless both men for putting this together.
Yes.
But again, if Bud takes care of business, Earl Spence Jr., it's time. I'm not saying that he's ducking him. That's not what I'm saying at all. But Earl Spence Jr., it's time for you, and it's time for Bud to get together, and let's see who the best welterweight is in the world, because you each have belts in the welterweight division.
Yes.
Now, if Bud takes care of business against Crawford, which he's a slight favorite,
yeah,
and I do mean slight. I mean, this might be one of those, push bets for those that are betting on this fight. I didn't get a chance to look at the odds at the sportsbook. I might tonight when I get to
it's minus 700 for Bud, plus 500 for Porter.
Oh, that's almost a push. you almost could push that.
Yeah.
Staying with the sweet science, here's an interesting clip. So, if there is no rematch between Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko, could Bob Arum possibly put together Teofimo versus Shakur Stevenson?
Boy, that is electric. That would be electric if they pull that one off. Like, seriously, that right there is sweet science boxing right there.
Well, you got two young guys that are just approaching their prime. I if it happens, sign me up for it right now. I'm just,
That's
give me something like this. Oh, I will take it. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, Chris Eubanks Jr. was supposed to fight Liam Williams on December the 11th, but unfortunately there is an injury for Williams.
Yes.
So unfortunately the fight between him and Eubanks will be off, which was supposed to be in Cardiff. So we will keep an idea on that. So Cinnamon will move up to cruiserweight and challenge for the cruiserweight title as he looks to try to become Cinnamon 5 belts. Certainly if anybody can do it, Canelo can, as he tries to continue to move up in his legacy as perhaps the best Mexican fighter of all time, even though some people will not give you that title because they still hold senior in regards, and it's very hard not to hold Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. in high regard.
Yes.
But McAboo is not a slouch. He is the WBC Cruiserweight champion for a reason. Of course, this is not going to take place until May of next year, which could be Cinco de Mayo weekend. I mean, they have agreed to it, but the finalities have to obviously come together.
Of course.
Can Canelo make the? I mean, we've already seen Canelo make the jump to light heavyweight, and he thrashed Sergey Kovalev, who for a long time Kovalev was the best light heavyweight in that division until he met Andre Ward, and Andre Ward stopped him the second time. Even though I did think Kovalev slightly won the first fight, but they.
Well, you saw the look on his face.
Yeah. I mean, Andre's certainly not going to say is not going to, act like he's not going to take the win. But I mean,
you can notice when somebody know they've been defeated and they get the win, and you're there. Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's here nor there. But I mean, certainly can Canelo make that jump to cruiserweight and perhaps become Cinnamon 5 belts?
I believe it. I have not.
Because jumping from super middleweight to light heavyweight is one thing, but now to go up another weight class to cruiserweight, that's a lot of times it does take a toll on the body and having to prep your body up to, I mean, it sort of kind of got Roy Jones towards the latter of his career because, of course, Roy Jones made the jump from light heavyweight to heavyweight and became the world heavyweight champion because he just thrashed John Ruiz and just, made him look like a tremendous mismatch. But, I mean, if anybody can do it, I do think Canelo can. So I'm going to try and put you on the spot. I know you're just going to watch as a fan, but do you have a prediction between Bud and Showtime Shawn Porter?
I got the referee stopping it in the 8th round.
Oh, boy.
And I got Bud putting on the show and getting it. If I had to put my money on it, I got Bud getting it in 8.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this might be Bud's first time fighting in Vegas. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of his fights have been either in Omaha or at Madison Square Garden. But I think this is his first time of Bud fighting in Las Vegas. Again, don't hold me to that. I'm not sure, but I think it is. Obviously, Shawn Porter lives in Vegas, has a Vegas residence, so it's nothing new to him. But I want to say this might be Bud's first time fighting in Vegas. I don't know if the Vegas lights would get to him. I doubt that because Bud is just a tremendous.
It's just boxing.
Yeah, it's just boxing. But I know one thing: he definitely will bring Omaha with him.
You dang Skippy.
That is for sure. See here, no. Trying to find menswear, but obviously that did not happen. But I definitely do think that it'll be an exciting fight, and
yes,
he finally might get his moment to prove himself. We shall see.
Indeed.
But I'm just excited for this fight. I really am.
There it is.
I'm just excited for this fight, and the fact that you got a whole bunch of undercards. Again, you can catch this on it's a ESPN pay-per-view fight. Is it also being shown on ESPN Plus?
Well, ESPN Plus is hosting
ESPN pay-per-view.
Is the pay-per-view on there. So yeah. But I believe the preliminaries will start on ESPN, but then you would have to wait, excuse me. You can watch the preliminaries probably on ESPN Plus if you are a subscriber. But then when the main card starts, that's when you have to pay the money.
Okay. So yes, okay. So the preliminaries will start on ESPN at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. Then the other prelims on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. Then, of course, the pay-per-view on ESPN pay-per-view or ESPN Plus pay-per-view starting at 6 Pacific. So there we go.
You have it.
I'm just excited for this fight.
Yeah, there it is. The same. It's good for boxing.
Yes, indeed. Well, with that said, this has been another great edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show. We will be back this weekend to talk about Week 11 in the NFL and to talk about what happened in the fight. So you asked for more shows. We're giving you more shows. Again, to our subscribers, we thank you. In addition to that, again, if you have a subject you want us to tackle on the show, feel free to hit the comment box and let us know. We're here for the people. Yes. Because as they say, give the people what they want. You want more of us? So here we are. He is Mizzle. I am Dub. Again, we say thank you. And as always, remember, it is 5 o'clock somewhere.
It sure is. And big shout out to Team Everywhere, J-Hub, for the merch.
Yes, Mr. Hubbard. Yes, indeed.
All right, brother. Good show, man.
Indeed.
We love you, people. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.